Hey people! How is 2023 going for all of you? Better than my country's collective mental health, I hope. But anyways, today we won't be embarking in any daring adventures or any otherworldly experiences. Gods know I need some fucking rest after all. However, I would like to talk about one specific topic I feel people don't really agree with. And that's that Daedric Artifacts suck. Like at least 90% of them do. And the rest are either broken or don't do anything at all. But I also wanted to give them a fair shot and talk about their positive notes as well, so without further ado, let's get on with it. Oh yeah, I forgot. Senator, could you come here and do the thing? Yes, thank you.
Wait a minute, Jack. I saw that. Why are you not subscribed yet? This is peak American content. What? But he's not even from the United States. You're a fool, Jack. He's South American, just like the Brazilian samurai. You're insane. Shut up, Jack. Now make sure to like and turn on notifications as well.
Alrighty then, I don't want this video to be an hour long, so let's break this down quickly. Each artifact will be given roughly 30 seconds to a minute, in which I will give the good, the bad, and the ugly about each and every single one of them. Okay? Okay. First of all, we have the Azura Star. A reusable soul stone is theoretically a great thing to have if your build relies a lot of enchantments. That's if it even worked at all to begin with. You see, the PC version has a bug where it's possible that the star will simply not absorb any soul whatsoever, leaving it just a fancy star-shaped rock with zero utility. The corrupted version, however, for some reason, functions normally, so do yourself a favor and pick that one. Next up, we have the Dawnbreaker, and okay, look, I know I already gave my fair share of hatred towards Meridia and her Orb of Annoyance. But the reward in the end is actually one of the best artifacts in the game. It has decent base damage, a good fire enchantment, and on top of it all, you get an AoE fear every time you kill an undead, which are present in literally every other dungeon in the game. All of that straight from the get-go as soon as you get level 12. So yeah, I guess, thanks Meridia. Next up we have the Ebony Blade, and this one just makes me sad. It's the only two-handed katana in the whole game, and the quest is literally the easiest of them all. You don't have to do anything to get it, just talk to NPCs and open a door. And while it does have some pretty decent damage and lifesteal, you realize sooner or later that the only way to upgrade this weapon is by killing allied NPCs, although there is a way to circumvent that restriction, and it also cannot be upgraded on a grindstone, meaning you're stuck with its base damage for however long you carry it, and also you can only obtain it after level 20, and at that point I think there are much better options for two-handed weapons. Following the Ebony Blade we have yet another ebony item, this time being the Ebony Mail. And I gotta be honest, I used to hate this one. The muffle effect seemed weird in a heavy armor chest, and looking back, the 5 damage per second to enemies close to you was pretty nice, but the problem is in order to acquire it, you need to be level fucking 30, are you kidding me? I can get to smithing level 100 before even getting to level 20. Why make the level requirement so high? It doesn't even look different than an average ebony armor, it's just frustrating. It has a cool effect when you're crouching though. Next up we have the Mace of Molag Bal. Now the quest for this one is actually somewhat memorable. Molag Bal making the haunted house go haywire is pretty fun on its own, but after everything is done you're rewarded with one of the coolest designs in the game, with 2 basic enchantments on it. Like, seriously, that's all they could have given us? Meridia gave me a fucking nuke on a stick. Why does the coolest looking weapon in the game gives the enemy a mild fever and nothing else? My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined. Now for the Mask of Clavicus Vial, the quest itself is the literal definition of the real Daedric artifact was the friends we made along the way. The mask itself, it's fine I guess, the effects are good and not that common in the game, but between that and the actual immortal deity that is Barbas, yeah, I'm taking the dog, I'm sorry. I mean, Clavicus doesn't even deserve him anyways. I mean, just look at him. Isn't he the best of boys? Yes, he is. Next up we have the Maroon's Razor, and this one is literally just a Daedric dagger for 98% of the times you use it, and the remaining 2% are the times where you hit something with it and go, oh, okay, yeah, I guess that's it. No effect, no fancy animation, nothing to show. Though considering you can grab this item as soon as you hit level 20, and most players who go for sneak builds won't bother leveling smithing to level 90 at this point, I'd say it's a good enough weapon to use. It just doesn't have any fanciness to it other than the cool looks, I guess. Also, did you know you can actually kill the Ebony Warrior with this thing? Just be careful, he can reflect the insta-kill back at you. Oh god, not this one again. Fuck, I'm not doing that shit. The Ogma Infineon. Is this the best one? Is this the worst one? It all depends on how much you're willing to break the game, and also how much are you willing to ignore the anger of It is your choice, and your risk. Other than that, is nice I guess. Thank god they decided to reuse Hermea's Mora for the DLC. They couldn't just keep the guy out of the game like that. Following up we have the Ring of Namira, and I remember doing this questline exactly 5 times. And in all of them I was pleasantly surprised. It is more than enough to deviate from the usual logic these quests go for. You know, this one follower I had has stepped on my toes and now you must visit him and break his kneecaps or something. The ring itself is pretty above average when it comes to enchantments, and also it can add some level of role-playing to the game, if cannibalism is your choice of weirdness, that is. But overall, I just wish this questline was a bit longer. It always felt like it ends too quickly. Next up we have the Ring of Ursine / the Savior's Hide. Did anyone do this questline? I gotta say, I must have done this at most twice in my 11 years of playing this social death trap of a game. And honestly, I don't really know why. From what I can remember, the ring makes becoming a werewolf an actual build instead of just something you can use for 5 minutes and having to rest for 24 hours. And while the hide is not the most inspiring thing ever, it does have a unique design and 15% magic resist, which, in a game where this tends to happen a lot, can come a long way sometimes. Before we speak about the Spellbreaker, I'd like to tell people a little story. One day, little Todd Howard was walking down the street when he saw a strange fellow stuck in the sewer. But when he tried to help the man, he was kicked inside the sewer, where the man proceeded to viciously attack him with his army of cockroaches. Years later, he decided to do the same thing to others, and that's why he created Dwemer Ruins and decided to fill them with every single one of the most infuriating enemies in the game. Look, this shield just isn't worth the trouble. Trust me. All it does is cast a spell that you can use and learn at pretty much any level in the game. So yeah, don't bother. Ah yes, the Volan drug. Now, I want you to tell me something. Why does the coolest Warhammer design in the entire game has a regular enchantment as a bonus that doesn't even do any bonus damage? Like, for fuck's sakes, it has spines covering every nook and cranny of it. Why couldn't you do anything else? Make it have bleeding damage or ignore armor or something, but giving such a cool looking weapon a simple stamina steal does not do it justice. If I needed an infinite amount of power attacks, all I have to do is chug a vegetable soup, for Christ's sake. I just don't want to think about it. Next up is the Skull Corruptor. The only staff that actively rewards sneak attacking someone sleeping with them. And it's an interesting concept, but it falls short when compared to other staves and basic spells. Also, the quest itself, it's not that memorable. Not bad or good, just there I guess. If I had to grade it, I'll probably give it like a cup of room temperature water out of 10. Following up we have the Sanguine Rose, and speaking of better staves, here we have a debatable one. For most people, the ability to summon a full Daedrite level 14 is pretty good, and certainly beats any early game summon spell. Not only that, but the fact that this is a staff means you don't have to level Conjuration at all to use it, which is a big positive sometimes. But let's just say you are a person with a lot of patience and free time on their hands, and decides to grind to level 90 on Conjuration as soon as possible. then this item is useless, as you can literally do the same thing as a staff, but better, faster, and for longer. Banger of a questline though. And finally, with yet another staff, we have arguably the best artifact in the game.
The Wabbajack!
Okay, so follow me on this. If after the events of Oblivion, we, as the main character, become the next Sheogorath, does this mean that during this questline we are actually directly talking towards the hero of Kvatch? Because that itself solidifies this quest as one of the coolest ones. But even if you had no idea of this, getting transported to a realm of madness, where the equivalent of the Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland is a god, and at the end he gives you a staff that can turn any NPC into a chicken, should be enough of a reason to give most people enough reasons to complete this one. As random as the Wabbajack is, there is literally nothing I can say that is negative about it. It's just the right amount of chaos, and I love it. Well, and that's pretty much it. I decided not to add the skeleton key here since it does not count towards the achievement related to the artifact. Either way, thanks for watching. But before you leave, here's a little sneak peek at what awaits us in the future. Till then, bye bye! War never change.